Hello everyone, my name is Jessica and welcome to Simple, Cheap, and Easy DIYs. If you're already a subscriber to my channel, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and also hit that bell notification. That way you're notified every time I upload a video. Also make sure you hit the video like button and leave me a comment below. As always, you can check the description box for a list of the items I used. And let's get started. I'm going to start off by taking two of these metal 4th of July signs, and I'm just going to remove the jute twine off of both of them. I'm going to use the sides that are painted in case I want to use the galvanized side for something in the future. But basically I'm just going to go ahead and use some hot glue and glue these together to make one longer sign. I do recommend an E6000 glue though for a more permanent hold. Taking my apple barrel paint in the color white, I'm just going to paint the whole front of the sign, and I did this by dabbing the paint on. That way a little bit of the metal actually shows through. And this is what it will look like once your sign is fully painted. Next, I'm going to take this Home Sweet Home wall sticker and just apply it to the front. And whenever you apply the sticker, just make sure that you apply it and kind of bend the sticker in with the grooves on the sign. I hope everyone's enjoying my video so far. If you are, please make sure you hit that like button down below because it really helps out my channel a lot and is very much appreciated. Once you have the stickers fully applied, I'm going to take that jute twine that I took off one of the signs and I'm just going to place that back on to use as the hanger. For this second project, I'm going to start off with 3 of these glass canisters from the Dollar Tree, and I didn't film this part, but I took off the metal as well as the plastic seal. Once I had those removed, I spray painted it in the Rust-Oleum spray paint Blossom White. Now you can cover it up the inside, that way it will be food safe. Once the paint was fully dry, I went ahead and reapplied the silicone seal to all 3 of the lids. Next, I took all of the metal pieces, and I would normally use a black spray paint, but I didn't have any and I can't find any in stores right now. So what I did was just took the apple barrel paint in the color jet black, and I went ahead and painted each of the metal pieces. And this is what they look like once they were painted. Now I'm just going to go ahead and put all the metal pieces back onto the canisters, which are really easy to do. You just kind of push them together and then they'll just slide back in place. This is what they'll look like once they're fully painted and reassembled. I do suggest using a clear coat spray on these to seal the paint to prevent it from chipping. Next, I'm going to take these 3 plastic cows and just arrange them on the top of the canisters in the direction I want them to face. Once I have them all laid out, I'm going to go ahead and glue each one to the top of the lid. I am using hot glue, but I recommend again an E6000 for a permanent hold. And with these being on place, it still allows you to be able to open and close the canister with no problem. To finish up my canister set, I'm going to take this plastic organizer and use the Rust-Oleum spray paint in the color Blossom White. Just go ahead and spray the entire thing. I'm also going to take this jet black apple barrel paint and just outline the bottom of the tray to give it that enamel look. Again, I do with this as well, suggest spraying it with a clear coat to prevent the paint from chipping. And now your canister set is complete. The jars fit perfectly on the top of the tray. That way you can easily remove them to refill them or to use them. You don't have to glue them down, but you can glue them to the tray if you like. Start off by taking two of these little magnetic tins, and I'm just going to take the lid part off. We're going to be using that first, and then we'll use the other two pieces later on in this project. Next, I'm going to take two of these plastic clips, which I got in the laundry section of Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to go ahead and open those up and clamp them onto the lids, as you can see I'm doing here. And I just want to make sure that they, when they clamp on, that you do clamp them on where they set flat. Now I'm going to be taking my hot glue and just gluing these clamps onto the lids. Now for this whole project, I do suggest you using a combination of E6000 and hot glue for a permanent hold. The hot glue I'm just using for video purposes, but again, make sure you do use a more heavy duty glue to make sure that these pieces all stay together. Next, I'm going to take this plastic tray, and this tray is actually very thick and very heavy, so it actually will be really sturdy for this project. Taking the two lids with the clips on them, I'm going to go ahead and place them on the top of the tray, and I'm going to try just to go ahead and even them out, make sure that they're evenly spaced and in line with each other. Once I have that done, I'm going to go ahead and glue them down to the tray. On one side of the tray there is writing, but the lid actually fits perfectly over the top of the writing, so you won't even be able to notice that once we get this painted. And this is what it will look like once you have both clips and lids glued down. I'm going to take this plastic jump rope, which I got in the kids section of Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut straight across the top. On one of the sides, you'll want to make it a little bit longer than on the other, and you'll see why here in a moment. Once I have that cut made, I'm going to go ahead and glue the bottom of the handle right into the center of the tray. Now you'll want to make sure that the cuts in the top of the handle are in line with the clips. Now I'm going to be taking this clear ruler and I'm just going to be sliding it into the cuts that we made in the handle to the jump rope. Now you can either tilt this to one side or you can make it even. That's the reason why I cut one of the sides of the handle a little bit lower, in case you want to go ahead and tilt it like I did here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and glue that ruler down into the handle. I'm also going to go ahead and glue the ruler to the side of the clip that it's actually touching, just to kind of help hold it in place as well. Taking 4 of the tumbling tower blocks, I'm going to glue 2 to each side of the ruler. Now with these blocks, I'm actually going to be gluing them kind of at an angle. I'm just going to make it to where the top of the blocks are even. That way when we put the pans on top, it'll actually be straight. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, as it really helps out my channel a lot and it's very much appreciated. Now, taking those two metal tins that we use the lids off of, I'm going to go ahead and glue those onto the tumbling tower blocks with the magnetic side up. That way the tray has something to set on. Now, taking this plastic mirror, I'm just going to go ahead and cut the handle off. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, but you'll just want to be using the handle portion. Now you'll just want to position it on the back of the ruler to where it is even and it matches up with the bottom portion of the jump rope, and then that way it'll actually look like it goes as one single piece. And I'm just going to go ahead and use some hot glue on the back just to go ahead and hold that in place. And this is what it will look like once it's all glued in place. Now, to reinforce the ruler, I'm going to take some scrap pieces of paint stir sticks and just glue that on the back just to kind of help support the plastic ruler. Now, taking two of these smaller cake pans, I'm just going to attach them to the top of the metal tins, and since it is magnetic, it actually holds really good in place. You can glue it down if you like, but I went ahead and left mine like this. That way if I want to take it down and store it, it'll be easier to store if I remove the pans from the top. Once I had my scale completed, I just went ahead and spray painted it with Rust-Oleum semi-gloss spray paint. Now, you can leave it completely white if you would like, or you can paint it any other color that goes with your decor. And I'm just going to be taking this burnt umber from Apple Barrel, and I'm going to go ahead and distress it some just to kind of give it the older rusted look. But again, you can paint this however you'd like. Also, I'm going to show a second way of painting it using black paint. And this is what the scale looks like using the burnt umber paint. And at the end of this video, I'll show pictures of both with the black and with the brown paint. For the second look, I'm going to go ahead and go over it with the Apple Barrel paint in the color Jet Black to give it more of the enamel look. I did go a little heavy on the black paint on this one just to give it the more used look, but again, you can customize the paint any way you choose. And here is the completed project using the burnt umber paint and also the completed project using the jet black paint. I'm going to start off using two mason jars. Both are different sizes, and using this cotton twine, I'm going to start at the bottom and just wrap the twine around. I am using hot glue for this, but Mod Podge would actually work better. I just didn't have any to use for this project, but you're going to go ahead and on the first jar, take the cotton string and just put that a little more than halfway down the jar. Once you have the cotton twine, you're going to take regular jute twine and just finish off the rest of the jar by doing the same method, just wrapping it around all the way to the top of the jar. Once the jar is completely covered in the cotton and the jute twine, I'm going to take 4 pieces of jute twine and just evenly space them around the jar, as you can see me doing here. Once the first jar is completed, I'm going to move on to the second jar. For the second jar, I'm going to use both the cotton and the jute twine. I'm going to take the cotton twine and wrap that around almost to the top of the jar. And then taking the jute twine, I'm going to space out 4 pieces evenly around the bottom and then connect them to the top of the jar, as you can see me doing here. Once all 4 pieces are connected, I'm going to take some jute twine and wrap that around the remaining part of the top of the jar. And this is what both jars will look like once they're completed. Again, they would look a little better if you had Mod Podge. I just didn't have any. Now I'm going to take this greenery, which I believe I got at Walmart for $1.47, and I'm just going to place those in both of the jars. For this next project, I'm going to take 3 kid-size plastic hangers, and I'm going to cut them almost to the joints, as you can see here, and I'm just going to make sure that they're cut evenly. Once they are, I'm going to take the hot glue and glue them side by side, and the third one I'm going to glue in the center, as you can see here. Now I am using hot glue, but I do suggest an E6000 hot glue combination for a more permanent hold. Taking this wood oval shape, which I got at the Dollar Tree, I'm just going to go ahead and center the hangers, and I'm going to mark where each of the connection points are, and then I'm just going to go ahead and add some hot glue and glue this stand together. Again, I would use a combination of E6000 and hot glue just to make sure that this holds on good and secure. Taking 3 tumbling tower blocks and this apple barrel paint in the color brown oxide, I'm going to go ahead and stain them. I'm going to take a baby wipe and just wipe the paint on, which will make it give a stain effect. Once the blocks are fully dry, I'm going to take 2 of them and glue them together, and then I will glue them onto the bottom of the hangers. I'm sorry that this was a little bit out of focus, but I basically just glued them to make a T shape. Taking the brown oxide paint and a baby wipe, I'll just go ahead and stain the top and the sides of the table. And this is what the completed larger mini table or riser will look like. Taking 3 of those same plastic hangers, I'm going to cut the bottom section off. As you can see here, I'm just going to use some dog nail clippers. They seem to work really good for this project. And when you cut the pieces, they are going to be cut at a little bit of a slant. One of the sides will need to be a little bit shorter than the other, as you can see here. Now taking the shorter sides, I'm going to glue these hangers together as I did the bigger one, 2 side by side and 1 in the middle. And for the smaller riser or mini table, I'm going to repeat the same steps as the larger one. I'm going to mark off where the stand will fit, add hot glue, glue them down, and then going to also repeat the same steps for the legs. I will take 3 of the tumbling tower blocks, stain them, and glue them to the bottom of the hangers. After the top of the table is stained, this is what the mini riser will look like. This last project, I'm going to take one of these canvases and go ahead and remove the staples as well as the canvas, and you'll be left with this wood frame. Taking some bamboo skewers, I'm going to cut 4 pieces at approximately 5.5 inches long, and then taking my hot glue, I'm just going to glue them into a square shape. Once you have your square made out of the bamboo skewers, you're just going to glue it onto the canvas frame, as you can see, like I'm doing here. For these next steps, it's a little bit easier to watch and see how I complete the wall art than explaining the steps, so you'll be able to see here how I complete this. And this is what it will look like once you have your wall art completed. Now I would have made 2 of these, but I didn't have another canvas, so I'll probably make a second one later on. And here's the completed projects all together. Tumbling tower blocks, I did use 1 pack and 2 from a second pack to build this little chair. Now you can just go ahead and watch me build it. I'm not going to show me gluing all of them, but you will be able to see how I put this together. Now I am using hot glue to go ahead and glue this together, but I do strongly suggest using a wood glue, a super glue, or an E6000, which will allow the blocks to sit flatter, and it will also be a more permanent hold. Once you have your chair assembled, this is what it will look like. And I am going to take this lightweight spackle and go ahead and apply that to the chair just to fill in all the cracks and crevices that you'll have. Once the spackle is fully dry, I'm going to go ahead and take some sandpaper, and I'm just going to go ahead and sandpaper the entire chair to go ahead and smooth it all out. Once you have it all sanded, this is what it will look like, and then I'm just going to take this snow white paint and go ahead and paint the full chair, and it will be completed. By taking this plastic clipboard, which I got at Dollar Tree, and using just a regular ruler, I'm going to measure it 4 inches high and a little over 11 inches in length. Once I have that fully measured, I'm just going to take a pair of scissors and cut that strip out. Next, I'm going to take this glass cylinder vase, which is the shorter of the two that Dollar Tree carries, and taking my Surebonder full-size glue gun, I'm going to set that temperature to high, and I'm going to take the piece of plastic that we just cut out and apply hot glue to one end, and then apply that directly onto the vase. Once you have that glued down, you'll just go ahead and wrap the plastic around the vase. Once you have it wrapped all the way around, you'll go ahead and just glue the other side down. Taking the remainder of the plastic folder, you're going to measure out 2 inches in height and a little over 11 inches in length. Once you have that measured, you'll go ahead and cut that out as well. For the second vase, you'll go ahead and repeat the same steps as the first. You'll just go ahead and glue that plastic directly onto the vase, wrap that around, and then glue the other end on the vase as well. And this is what it will look like once you have both vases completed. Now you can leave them black if you would like, but I'm going to go ahead and paint them. So what I'm going to do is take some painter's tape and just go ahead and wrap that around the top of the glass. That way it doesn't get onto the glass. Now you can always paint the plastic before if you would like. That's completely up to you. I'm going to be taking this apple barrel paint in the color white, and I'm just going to paint both of the plastic pieces on both vases. It did take me 2 coats to get this completely covered. Next, I'm going to take the apple barrel paint in Tutorial Beige, and I'm just going to go ahead and dry brush that on both of the vases all the way around the plastic. Now you can leave it like this if you would like, but I'm going to take the white paint and I'm going to go ahead and just dry brush over the brown. That way it'll soften it up a bit. To finish these vases, I put some floral foam in the bottom and some reindeer moss on top, and included these two succulents to complete the look. For the second project, I'm going to take this wood box and remove the center. They have a lot of different ones that you can find at Dollar Tree if you can't find this particular one. Then taking this stencil, I'm going to leave the back on the stencil and just tape it to the side of the box. That way I can reuse it more than just one time. And I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that that's secured nicely. Next, I'm going to take this all-purpose chalk and I'm going to apply that directly to the stencil, and then once I have it applied, I'm going to take my finger and just smooth it out, but I'm going to smooth it out gently, that way I don't bend the stencil, but make sure that it's an even coat all over the entire stencil. I went ahead and let this set for a minute, maybe 2 minutes before removing the stencil to kind of help it set in place, and then gently you'll just pull up the stencil and you'll be left this nice raised design, and you're just going to want to go ahead and repeat that on all 4 sides. Once you have all 4 sides completed, you're going to want to make sure it is fully dry. Once it's dry, I'm going to take this apple barrel paint in the color white and just paint the entire box, all 4 sides and on the inside. I'm not going to worry too much about the bottom where the design is, since that's going to be covered. Next, I'm going to take 8 of these wooden puzzle pieces left over from a previous project and paint those in the color white. While those are drying, I'm going to take the territorial beige and just go ahead and dry brush that all over the box as well as on the inside. I'm also going to do the same thing to all 8 of the wooden squares. Once that's dry, I'm going to take the white paint and go ahead and dry brush that on the box as well as the squares to soften the brown. Once the paint's fully dry, I'm going to take my hot glue and just go ahead and apply 2 squares to each corner to form the legs on the box. If you're already subscribed to my channel, I want to thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe now. It really helps my channel to grow so much, and it'd be much appreciated. Now you can decorate this any way that you'd like, but I'm going to take some Spanish moss and some succulents and apply inside. That way it kind of gives it a modern farmhouse look. It could even pass as a boho farmhouse, but like I said, you can decorate the box any way you'd like. This last project is super easy to make. I'm going to take the same wooden box and remove the inside. And on this one, I'm just going to paint it in the apple barrel paint white and dry brush in the Territorial beige. Once that's dry, I'm going to go ahead and decorate it the same way. I'm going to use the Spanish moss and succulents, but again, you can decorate this any way you wish. First project, it's going to be inspired by this metal house from Kirkland's, which is 2624. And I'm going to start off by taking 2 of the 32-inch bamboo skewers and cutting those down to approximately 24 inches. Next, I'm going to take a 3rd bamboo skewer and mark out 6 pieces at 3.5 inches long and go ahead and cut those out down as well. Now I'm going to take one of the 3.5 inch pieces and I'm going to glue that to the longer bamboo skewer at 4 inches. Once I have the first one glued on, then I'm going to take the second skewer and I'm just going to apply that about a 1/2 inch above the first one that I glued down. At first I was using this clear pad to protect my surface when I was gluing these dowels down, but the glue kept sticking to that and I forgot that I had this silicone pad. So I'm actually going to start using it and it is great. The glue does not stick at all to it and you can remove it very easily to move your project around to glue it down. Once I have the first set of 3-inch dowels glued down, I'm just going to move on and repeat those steps 2 times. I'm going to glue the first dowel 4 inches from the last dowel I glued, and then the next one 1/2 inch, and just repeat the process as you can see me doing here. I do have to say I really am enjoying this glue gun with the detailed tip, because it allows just the right amount of glue to come out for these smaller projects without having to take a lot of it off. So it does really work out good whenever you're using more of the smaller surfaces to glue. And this is what it should look like once you have the pieces glued down, almost like a mini ladder. Next, I'm going to take 2 pieces of the wooden dowel cut at 4 inches each, and I'm going to glue those to the top of the stand to build a triangle shape. Once I have that shape built, I'm just going to go ahead and hot glue those on as well. Now I'm going to take the apple barrel paint in the color black and just paint the entire piece. Next, I'm going to take these metal tin buckets, and I got these after Halloween, so I'm just going to paint the trick or treat in apple barrel paint black and remove the handles off. Now you can also use the white buckets from Dollar Tree and just paint them black, but I had gotten these for I think 10 cents on sale, so I just decided to use these for this project. Next, taking one of the buckets, I'm going to glue it to the bottom dowel, and then I'm going to repeat this step for the next 2 lines. Next, I'm going to take 3 of these succulents, and I'm going to remove the styrofoam as well as the plant from the containers. Once I have all 3 removed, I'm going to place 1 in each of the metal buckets. And this is what the completed first project will look like. For the second project, I'm going to take 2 of these metal paper towel holders, and I'm going to flip one upside down. Using some of the black zip ties, I'm going to zip tie the top of each side, as you can see me doing here. Now on the opposite end, I'm going to use the hot glue and go ahead and glue those pieces together, as this is the piece you'll be able to see. And with this detailed tip, it works perfect to get in the small space here between the 2 metal pieces, and it hardly will be able to tell that there was any hot glue used because it goes right into the line. Now normally I would have spray painted this black, but I didn't have any, so I used this apple barrel paint in the color black. This is after 1 coat, but I did end up using 3 coats to coat that completely. Next, I'm going to take this smaller mirror and just remove the back off and use this as the base. And I'm just going to slide the paper towel holder in between the plastic. Now you can use the black part of the mirror as the base if you'd like, but I decided not to use that, and I just went ahead and removed that off. Next, I'm going to take the hot glue and just go ahead and glue the mirror frame down to the metal paper towel holder, as you can see that I'm going to be doing here. For the lamp shade, I'm going to be using this plastic bowl. Now you can leave it clear if you would like, but I decided to use a coat of this frosted glass from Krylon. And I did have an old can, so it didn't spray out the best, and I didn't have another bowl to use for this project. But if you do have a fresh can, it would actually look really good. Taking this book light, I'm just going to cut the metal piece off, as you can see that I'm doing here. Now you can use the push lights that Dollar Tree has as well. I just didn't have any to use for this project. For this next step, I'm going to take the bowl and set the top of the lamp right down inside, and I'm going to apply hot glue to the book light. Now whenever you glue this down, just make sure that you face the switch on the outside. That way you can actually turn the lamp on and off. Once you have it glued in place, then you'll be able to slide it off and on with no problems. Once I had the light glued down in place, then I'm just going to take the hot glue and apply it around the paper towel holder to the bowl. That way it'll go ahead and give a permanent hold. And this is what your completed lamp will look like. By taking these wood plaques from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to coat them in a layer of Mod Podge. Taking some tissue paper, I'm just going to spread that over the top of the wood plaque. It gives it a little bit of texture and also helps the paint to adhere a little better. And I'm going to repeat that step on both sides of the wood plaque. And these wood plaques are 6 by 8 inches. Once that's fully dry, I'm going to take some sandpaper and just go over the edges, and I found this is the best way to take the tissue paper off. And this is what it will look like once you have the excess tissue paper removed. As you can see, it gives a little bit of texture. I'm actually going to be using 9 of these for this project. Next, I'm going to take the apple barrel paint in the color Territorial Beige, and I'm going to paint all 9 pieces, but of course you can use any paint colors that you would like to fit your decor. Next, I'm going to take 2 of those wood pieces and cut out a piece of foam board that is 6 inches in width and 16 inches in length. Once I have the piece of foam board cut out, I'm going to take some masking tape and I'm going to wrap the edges. That way it gives it a more smoother finish, and I'm also going to wrap the entire board. This actually helps the strength of the board. It makes it a lot stronger. Once I have the foam board fully covered, I'm going to take the Territorial Beige and paint that as well. Next, I'm going to take the apple barrel paint in the color White, and I'm just going to dry brush all of the pieces that we just painted. Again, this step is optional. You can do any paint color combination that you like. Once all the pieces are painted and dried, we're going to start assembling the house. I'm going to start off by taking one of the 6x8 pieces and gluing that to the foam board, which the foam board we're going to use as the bottom. And you'll just go ahead and glue it as you can see me doing here. Now I did use hot glue for this for video purposes, but I do recommend an E6000 glue and hot glue combination for a more permanent hold. Next, I'm going to take two more of the 6x8 pieces and I'm going to glue one to the top and one to the side to form a square. Once the first square is complete, I'm going to repeat those same steps on the other side of the foam board. Once you have the two bottom squares completed, I'm going to take two more of the boards and glue two sides on, but on the top I'm not going to complete the square. I'm actually going to take two more of the boards, and for the top I'm actually going to glue them in a V shape to make the top of the house, as you can see me doing here. Once all the pieces are glued, I'm going to take a sheet of foam board and place on the bottom of the house, and I'm just going to go ahead and trace that out to complete the shape. Once that's fully traced out, I'm just going to go ahead and cut that down. Once you have it cut, I'm going to take the masking tape and go just around the edges of the back, and I'm going to paint it in the same paint color as well. Once that paint's dry, you'll just place that on the back of the house. And again, I'm going to go ahead and use hot glue for this, but you can use the E6000 hot glue combination. Also, the back, if you decide you don't want to, you don't have to use that. You can just use this shelf as an open shelf. If you're already subscribed to my channel, I want to thank you so much for the support. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please make sure that you subscribe now, as it really helps my channel out and helps me to grow. Also, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, as it helps my videos be seen and be able to bring more videos to you. Now, taking the larger bamboo skewers, I'm going to cut those down into 3 6-inch pieces, 11 8-inch pieces, and 2 16-inch pieces. Taking the apple barrel paint in the color jet black, I'm just going to paint all of the pieces we just cut. I'm going to start off by taking one of the 16-inch pieces and gluing that to the middle of the house. Then next, I'm going to take the second 16-inch piece and glue that to the bottom. Taking the 8-inch pieces, you're going to glue one piece to each of the 8-inch boards to frame out the house. Next, taking 2 of the 8-inch pieces, you're going to glue one piece to each of the corner of the house that we left open. And then once you have those 2 glued down and fully dry, you're going to take 4 more pieces and glue on the top. You'll use 2 of the 6-inch pieces and 2 of the 8-inch pieces to complete the top portion. And here's what the completed project will look like, and you can decorate your shelf with any of your favorite decor. For this first project, I'm going to be using this ceramic soap dispenser from Dollar Tree. And once I have the backing off of my decal, I'm just going to place it on my soap dispenser, and I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that it sticks really well. Once I have it where I like it and it's fully in place, I'll just go ahead and pull the transfer tape off, and that'll leave the design on my soap dispenser. For my second project, I'm going to use this ceramic toothbrush holder, and I'm going to repeat the same steps as the soap dispenser, except for I'm going to take my decal that says brush and go ahead and place that onto the toothbrush holder. My third project, I'm going to take this mini wooden tray from Dollar Tree and paint it in Apple Bell paint color white. Once that paint's fully dry, I'm going to take my bath decal and place that in the middle of the wooden tray. For my last two projects, I'm going to take two of these mini winter signs that are left over from a previous project, and I'm going to paint both of those in the apple barrel paint white. Once those are fully dry, I'm going to take my larger decals, one that says bulls and one that says heifers, and I'm just going to go ahead and place one decal on each of the mini signs, and these will be the mini restroom signs. For the last step, I'm going to take two pieces of black ribbon and attach one to each of the signs to make a little hanger, and then once that's done, your project will be complete. This glass vase and these two pieces from the Build a Straw kit, and I'm just going to use some super glue and glue these onto the side of the vase. I do find that super glue holds the best for this project. Hot glue just comes off, and E6000 glue, it takes a little too long to dry to actually hold it in place. If you can't find the Build-A-Straw sets at Dollar Tree, you could also use the plastic shower rings and just cut one of the sides off and glue those onto the side of the vase. And this is the completed vase. Now I'm just going to take this Rust-Oleum spray paint in the color Blossom White and paint the entire vase. Now you can paint this vase any color you'd like to match your decor, but this is super simple to make and it looks high-end. The second project, I'm going to take another one of Dollar Tree's vases and this plastic ice scoop. On the plastic ice scoop, I'm going to go ahead and cut the handle off. Once I have the handle off, I'm going to use some sandpaper just to sand the end down where it's not as sharp and it looks more like it came that way. Taking some hot glue, I'm going to glue two sides of the vase, and then once I have the glue down, I'm going to take the ice scoop and put that at a little bit of an angle inside of the vase to make the pitcher top. Now for this, I do recommend using a combination of E6000 and hot glue. That way you have a more permanent hold. But this is what it will look like once you have the ice scoop glued into the vase. Now taking a plastic hanger, I'm just going to cut the top of the hanger off using this handsaw from Dollar Tree. Once you have that cut, I'm going to go ahead and sand the end down again just to make that a little bit smoother. Taking the top of the hanger, I'm going to glue the top of the hanger to the top of the ice scoop. Once you have that glued down and in place, then at the bottom of the hanger, I'm going to glue that onto the side of the vase. Again, I'm using hot glue for this for video purposes, but I highly recommend using an E6000 or a super glue for a more permanent hold. And now you have a completed Dollar Tree pitcher. Once you have it completed, you'll just want to take some spray paint. I used Rust-Oleum in the color white and spray painted the entire vase. But again, you can paint this any color you'd like to match your decor. Taking the apple barrel paint in the color burnt umber, I'm just going to apply that to the bottom of the vase as well as the top and the handle just to give it more of a rustic look. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and let me know that you're enjoying it. It really helps out my channel to grow a lot and it is very much appreciated. Also, don't forget to leave me a comment down below and let me know which one of these two vase projects is your favorite. Now I'm going to take this lace ribbon and just tie that around the top of the vase to kind of hide the hole that's left between the ice scoop and the vase. And of course you can use any ribbon of your choice. Once I have that wrapped around, I'm just going to tie that into a little bow. And then once I have that tied and completed, I'm going to take a second piece of lace and wrap one more layer on the top just to kind of help conceal that hole a little bit more. Now I am going to take these 2 fall leaves and just tie a little piece of floral wire into that and slide that in between the lace just to give it a little bit of decoration. Now I did make this particular picture as a fall decor piece, but with the wire you can actually take that out and adjust for any season, or you can leave it off, whichever way that you choose to do so. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope everyone enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. As always, you can leave me a comment down below. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Till next time, hope everyone has a great day.